Hi, so my name is Kurniawan. I'm a fourth-year student of International Business Management program in Petra Christian University. So during these past 4 years of my learning, I always have one question that come up into my mind. What have I learned in these past 4 years? Of course, I have learned a lot in IBM in these past 4 years. However, there are only 6 subjects that I prefer the most. And all of those subjects are started with the word of I, such as IBM, IMM, IFM, International Economics, and with additional 2 subjects which are MNE and also GSM. Throughout all of those subjects, I have learned some practical things, such as presentations and also teamwork. However, the question is, what's next? Of course, the next step will be to implement all of the subjects into my real working life. In order to successfully implement all of the subjects, firstly, I need to know myself better. So in today's presentations, I would like to answer the questions of what's next and what I would be in the next 1 until 10 years with the help of Professor Dr. Casey Chan and also Holistic Learning Consortiums. Throughout today's presentations, I will use what, why, and how model to know my capabilities and to link it with my future plan. So in the what part, I will explain what are my core capabilities. And in why part, I will explain why is it important to understand my core capabilities. And in how part, I will explain how to integrate core capabilities to my future plans. So the first step to answer the questions of what's next is to know myself better. This can be done by doing the 5 self-assessment tests that are given by Professor Dr. Casey Chan. In this part, I would like to know myself deeper. These are the 5 tests that I need to complete. In individual competence, I need to complete 3 tests, which are Big 5 personality tests, GET tests, and also learning style tests. While in the team capacity building test, I need to complete 1 test, which is a Philippines Teams Roles model. And in the organizational capability, I need to complete 1 test, which is a leadership assessment test. By completing all of the tests that are given by Professor Dr. Casey Chan, I hope that I can know my individual competence. How can I fit into a team? And ultimately, how can I lead an organization? Let's start by knowing deeper about my competence. Based on learning styles, I'm a reflector and also a theorist. These are my characteristics of being reflector and also theorist. First, I'm a very detail-oriented person. I'm a slow decision maker, but when I make decisions, I will make it count. Lastly, I'm a very organized person. I like to follow agenda and finish things in sequence. And these are my strengths and weakness of being reflector and also theorist. I'm a truly organized person and logical, yet I can be very rigid, lack of innovations, and overly complicated. And from my enterprising tests, most of my scores are below average. However, I have a high determination and also dedications. The interpretations from my test result is that I have patience in what I'm doing, but I need others to supervise and control the results of my work so it can match with the expectations. Well, from my personality test, I have balanced score in most of my aspects, except for the extroversions. I have pretty low scores in extroversions, which means it will be difficult to me to express ideas and build relationships with other people. Moving on to the second test, which is using Belpin's Teams Role model to measure how I will fit into a team. Inside of a team, I will have the role of being shaper, finisher, and also specialist. The interpretations of my results are: first, I'm a self-reliant person and I'm responsible to what I'm doing. I'm also dedicated and can work under pressure. Lastly, I always ensure that the projects will finish on time without rushing on the results. In conclusions, my role inside of the team will be to become a leader because I can control my team and ensure that the results will meet the expectations. After assessing team capacity and individual competence, now I will measure the capability to lead an organization. Throughout the test, I found out that my specialties are to set directions, align people, and negotiating with other people. So from the results, it can be interpreted into 4 results. First, I will become a leader that adopts centralistic approach. I can ensure alignment between soft skills and hard skills of the organizations. I can ensure the collaborations between departments to reach organizational goals, as well as I can influence other people to achieve higher standard of result. And by joining IBM and Professor Dr. Casey Chan class, actually I have transformed from only a highly capable individual to a competent manager. This because I have gone through several challenges such as presentations and exams that require me to not only having individual competence but the ability to manage others. And in the future, when I have established my own enterprise, I hope that I can achieve level 5 leadership, which is to become a master change agent. So why is it important to understand my core capabilities? By doing these self-assessments, I can know my capabilities that can shape me into a faster, better, and smarter person in the future. Faster in terms of workplace learning and also adaptations, better in terms of understanding role and responsibilities, as well as ensure implementations and innovations, and then smarter in terms of choosing jobs and workplace that will fit my qualifications and capabilities. So after knowing that all of the subjects actually have changed me from a highly capable individual into a competent leader with a better capabilities, now let's move on into the second step. In this part, I will construct my goal, objective, and target for the next 1 until 10 years in the future. And I believe by doing this, actually it will give me a better picture about what I should do and also what things that need to be anticipated that will hinder me to achieve my goals. In this part, I will explain how can I integrate my learning process into my future plans. Firstly, I need to construct a firm goal, objective, and target in order to define what I will achieve in the future. My goal is to establish an enterprise that is listed in the Fortune 500 companies. And my objective is to establish one of the biggest IT business in the world that specializes in making games and cloud computing services. And lastly, my target is to acquire most of Indonesian market within 10 years, then expand into Southeast Asia market within 15 years, and then expand globally within 20 years. To reach my goal, objective, and target, I need to construct a firm planning for the next 1 until 10 years to define what I will do in the future. And within 1 year from now, my focus is to graduate from IBM with high GPA so that I can enter reputable marketing consultancy companies such as Mark Plus, John Walter Thompson, and Solidians. And the reasons I choose marketing consultancy companies is to increase my interpersonal skill, which currently I'm lacking of, and to search for partners for future business development. And within 3 years from now, I plan to get promotions to senior consultant positions, and I will also take my master degree, preferably on business administrations, and at the same time I will also take IT course to support my long-term plan. And within 5 years from now, I will quit the marketing consultancy company and start to build my own enterprise and extend my network to outside of Indonesia. While within 10 years, I plan to grow my business to the whole Southeast Asia region. After knowing what I will do in the next 1 until 10 years, the next step is to integrate and implement all of the theories, all of the practice that have been taught by Professor Dr. Casey Chan into my plan and innovate it to become better. 3 most important things that I have learned from Professor Dr. Casey Chan is to think holistically, which consists of holistic thinking, system thinking, and critical thinking. Holistic thinking teaches us to think a problem in a bigger picture, while system thinking is to solve a problem step by step in sequence to achieve a supreme result, while critical thinking is to monitor the results of the projects that we have been done to solve the problem. And this holistic thinking is not only practical in the Professor Casey Chan class, but also in real life. So in this part, I will give you 3 real life examples that I have applied this holistic thinking to achieve a better results. In this part, I will integrate and implement what I have learned in IPM to my future plans. To explain the integrations of the learning process into a real-life applications, it can be illustrated like a house. Firstly, within 4 years in IBM, I have gathered great values from IBM, which are integrity and professionalism. I also have gathered several values from Professor Casey Chan's class, which are teamwork, work under pressure, creating enticing presentations, and to do a comprehensive analysis. My learning process also being supported with 3 pillars, which are the concept of holistic thinking. In holistic thinking, I learned to think holistically through several subjects such as IPM, IMM, MNE, and also GSM. Supported with critical thinking, I need to solve the problem by seeing from different perspectives and draw conclusions. While system thinking provides a way to structure and package a presentations into sequence that will be easier for audience to understand. Well, this holistic thinking concept is not only applicable in IPM or in Professor Casey Chan class, but is also applicable in real life. Therefore, in this part, I will give 3 real-life examples that represents the applications of my learning process. First example is when I worked for a loudspeaker company for my on-the-job training period. I was being asked to make the production process to be more efficient. To achieve the purpose, I need to construct a framework, which are to identify the problem, choose appropriate aligned balancing method, and to redesign the process. And it is being supported with the materials that I have gotten from IBM, such as operations management and also integrated project management. And the next step is to convert the framework into projects. My project is to train people to work faster and more precise. Add buffers so people can work independently. And to implement the projects, I was supported by several people such as productions manager, HR manager, and quality control manager. To ensure that the project fit with the purpose, I need to construct the right process, which are to redesign the process, train people so they are aware with new process, and to monitor the result. And the strategy that I use to implement these projects is to achieve economic of scale, which means that the company can lower the cost by producing more goods. The second real-life example is when I do my research methodology project. In this project, I was asked to analyze the impact of AirAsia tragedy in December 2014. Firstly, I need to strategize, which are to develop research framework and statistical method to be used. And the next step is the implementations, which are to create questionnaire and start collecting primary data. And the next step is to analyze and interpret the data and making it into a report. And during the project implementations, I also control the results by referring to previous research and consultations with the lecturer. The last example is when I do my seminar International Business in the semester. To ensure that the results meet the expectation, firstly I need to decide the topics and the speakers and divide the people within the group into divisions. The next step is to promote the seminar and searching for sponsors as well as selling the ticket. The last step is to ensure the executions of the seminar by having training rehearsal, dress rehearsal so that we will be prepared in D-Day. As a control of the results, I use the results of the questionnaires to know the audience expectations and what can be done better. Through these three real-life examples, I have proven that my learning process is not only applicable in IPM or the Professor Dr. Casey Chan class, but also in the real life. And the implementations of my learning process cannot be separated from the practice and training that I have gotten from IPM, IMM, MNE, and also GSM that shaped me into what I am today. In conclusions, all of the learnings process and all of the materials that have been taught by Professor Dr. Casey Chan in these past 2 years have shaped me into a better person with a better capabilities. Now I have the abilities to conceptualize things and also to solve complicated things through holistic thinking that have been taught by Professor Dr. Casey Chan. Through all of these materials and lessons, now I am ready to face the real challenge in the real business world. So this is the end of the video, and I would like to thank Professor Dr. Casey Chan for all of his guidance in these last 4 semesters. So yeah, thank you and see you on the top.